Hey there everybody, and welcome back to my channel, Rents Collectibles. Today this is a little bit of a different video. Um, I'm doing something I don't think I've ever done, or like something I don't ever want to really do, but kind of feel necessary to point out some things. And that's involved myself in some drama, especially as it relates to TCGs in the communities. But for the Metazoo community here, you guys know what's been going on. There's been drama in the community for the last couple weeks now, and I I'm not picking any sides. I'm not here to tell you guys who to believe or what to believe. I just simply want to point out some things that I found that were kind of erroneous or misleading, and kind of want to put that out there to kind of correct the course a little bit, and give you guys just some more information to make better informed decisions for yourselves. Because at the end of the day, you got to do your own research. Take everybody's word with a grain of salt, including my own. But with the drama that's been happening lately, and nothing against him at all. I don't really have any interactions with him ever. I'm relatively new to the community myself, within the last couple months, so I never really had an encounter with him. But I've, nothing against him at all by any stretch of the imagination. But Cryptid TCG has left the Metazoo community in a, making a big splash on his way out as well. Fire selling, trying to dump everything he has. Metazoo just trying to like wash his hands of it all, which, to each their own. I have nothing to, I'm not here to judge you. I'm not here to say anything really negative about you. It's not for everybody, and things have happened to him that he outlines in a couple videos, and I have no opinion of some of those things at all. What happened between him and Metazoo, and certain people within the community, I have nothing to do with, and frankly, I don't really care about that aspect of it. Now, Invest Daily did a video recently. Actually, I think it was yesterday, kind of talking about certain aspects of it, which is a phenomenal video. I highly recommend you guys go check it out. But there's some aspects of the new Cryptid TCG video that was put out that I kind of had a little bit of problems with, just because they felt misleading. And what I'm talking about is the market value side of things, and talking about how Metazoo is a dying game and it's all going down and stuff like that. My own personal opinion is he's pumping fear into the community to try to get people to quit the game. And in my opinion, it's all from a well thought out, calculated move on his behalf to try to hurt Metazoo in a way that I think that he believes Metazoo hurt him. So that speculation, 100% my beliefs. There is no like actual fact pattern to that or anything. Just based on watching, and I've watched all of his videos, in the last month or two, and just from what I saw, that's kind of what I'm feeling at this point. But I'm gonna switch my screen over here to show the TCG player stuff, and this is what I had issue with, and I kind of wanted to talk about and just give you guys an informed opinion that's neutral, so you guys can make your own decision. Like I said, he talked about in his last video that Metazoo was dropping off drastically. It's failing. It's a dying TCG. People are losing interest, and I don't see it that way. And it honestly, it's the whole TCG market is kind of going down right now. But that has been shown to be part of that, like the bubble popping effect that we've seen for the last couple of years, and it's even happening in Pokemon and Magic and all the other TCGs. And I kind of wanted to show that. So right here you see Wilderness booster boxes starting off at $115, which is likely pre-order sales, and then dropping to now they are at $78.95, right? And initially you look at that and you're like, okay, that is a pretty big drop. But over a 3-month span here, that's a pretty steady drop. But the big line right here is you could see where it kind of leveled out for a little bit here. $89 to $90. Let's just say 88 to $90. It was leveling out, and then right here, June 27th through the 29th, it plummets, and it goes down and goes down and goes down. So if we look back, and you can even see it right here on the 1 month scale here, you can see June 28th, June 29th, and then it starts dropping. So what I'm thinking at this point with this is that this is like right around that time frame where Crypto TCG started putting out those videos, talking essentially that Metazoo was crashing and he was, fire selling, dumping everything he owned and all that, Metazoo related, for the shop and et cetera, right? And we know that there's a few people in the community that feel the same way that he does, and like I said before, perfectly fine and understandable. It happens. It happens everywhere. There's always going to be dissenting opinions, and that's okay. But to me, what I'm seeing here when I'm looking at these is that this is about that time where they started selling their booster boxes for below market price, which again was around $90, all the way down to $50. I believe maybe $60 is where he was selling his at. But it's hard for a market to compete when you have somebody who has a general large quantity of supply and they start dumping it at a really low rate. Naturally, the market's going to start reflecting that because people are going to see those prices of, insanely low booster boxes, and then people on TCG here, especially if they sell on here, are going to start seeing that people are buying the boxes for cheap. They have to start lowering their prices to become competitive in the same standard as, the guys dumping their stuff. So that's where you're seeing this sharp decline here. And I think that becomes kind of evident when you see it that way, that something definitely hit the market. There was a factor right here between these 2 days that affected the market for it to drop that way. And like I said, it's just, maybe it's coincidental, but that's right around that time frame where, he started dumping boxes and stuff. And you can kind of see it here too, slow decline. Although this one is it's not as sharp of a decline. But again, let's go over here. Slow, steady decline going all the way down to $70 here, or $70.63. But it even shows that like the high up here was $78. So it's the market correcting itself. There's not a sharp decline there. I think the biggest one you're going to see is with Nightfall. Let me click on that. And this is where I think a lot of people start getting that fear, like oh my God, it's going down. But look at that, $198. This box was essentially $200, and now it's all the way down to $150. So it's a $40 drop, essentially. But again, market correcting itself, and we've been seeing that in all the TCGs, and I'll even pull them up right now. We'll go to Pokemon, because I'm a big Pokemon fan as well. I mean, clearly, you guys can tell I've got a lot of Pokemon stuff on my shelf. Got a lot of Magic, Flesh and Blood, all that stuff. So, Astral Radiance, you can see it's starting to come up just a little bit over the last, week or two. But it had a pretty steady, slow decline for a while as well. And that's actually the case with a lot of booster boxes. Let's see, Evolving Skies, kind of the same thing. It hit an all-time high up here at 187, and it's just been a slow, steady decline ever since. This is what it should naturally look like in a time like this for the market, right? Just kind of a slow correction of itself, and it's still going to go down and correct itself further, right? But I just want to show you guys some of these to kind of show you that it's not Metazoo just failing. It's not Metazoo just being, like plummeting or anything like that. I'm not even going to look at Flesh and Blood because their market's a little bit different, to be honest. But I mean, even in Magic here, let's see, what Streets of New Capenna, that's the newest standard set. Let's take a look at that. I do want to say I'm not like I do follow the market trends. I do follow the values and stuff because I'm not a huge investor into TCGs, but I do invest some, so I do follow these. And I mean, like, look at this. Yeah, it's going down just the same as everything else. And you can see it's starting to level out and correct itself, which is a good thing for the TCG. But I mean, even Magic going from $100 down to $83. Um, I mean, these are TCGs. These are the big guys. These are the standards and the mains, and they're saying they're showing literally these same exact trends as Metazoo. So again, the only real difference between all these TCGs and Metazoo at this point, from what I'm seeing on here and what I'm showing you from the graphs, which again I recommend you do your own research as well. The only real difference was from the last couple weeks, the sharp drop off, which correlates pretty much perfectly with the whole dumping of product that some of these guys who are trying to get out of Metazoo fast are doing. So I don't think it's a huge decline in the market at all. I think the market is correcting itself. And one other piece that I want to talk about that I believed was kind of fictitious that he said in his latest video was that there's not a large enough player base, and the popularity of Metazoo is not enough to keep it's essentially not sustain the game. I think at one point he mentions that there's only about 4 to 5,000 members in the community, Metazoo community, that are actively buying stuff, and that might correlate when it comes to UFO. I think he said it might correlate to 10,000 booster boxes being sold out of the 100,000 print run, and then kind of played on that 90,000 box number as like a fear tactic, in my opinion, when I don't truly believe those are more or less made up numbers. I mean, the 100,000 is an actual number. That is the print run that's been confirmed by Mike and Metazoo. But the community is much larger than that. And to kind of put my point out there, I'm part of some Facebook marketplace groups for Metazoo, and there's two in particular, Metazoo World and Metazoo Marketplace, fittingly enough. They both had about 5,000 to 6,000 members each in their communities. Now, there's a large percentage, a large chance that a lot of those people are in both groups, so that number is likely to mirror each other. But that is literally just a Facebook group, and not everybody has Facebook. Not everybody uses Facebook, and even more than that, not everybody uses Facebook to buy and sell things. So, yeah, you're missing a decent chunk of the community right there, I think. And to kind of put a little bit more perspective, now this is completely anecdotal and just my experience. Especially when it comes to Walmarts and finding product on shelves. I'm seeing a lot more just the trends from my own area of people buying up all the Metazoo stuff and leaving more of the Pokemon and Magic and sports behind. Now, not to say that none of those are popular and they're not being bought up, but it's actually become quite difficult to buy the Walmart boxes for Metazoo because they sell out the day they're put out on the shelf. They're pretty much gone. And just seeing the amount of hype that is going for the Walmart or the Target blister packs, the new Smokey the Bear ones, and just seeing how much this community has actually been growing over the last couple months, I am not worried even a little bit about Metazoo dying off. I'm not worried about it going away anywhere. In fact, I think Metazoo is doing the right things. I think it's growing at a healthy rate. In case of point, I mean, I was a Pokemon guy. I'm still a Pokemon guy, but I've been playing Pokemon forever in Magic and Flesh and Blood, and just recently this year got into Metazoo, and I have quite a few friends that have done similar things, come from other TCGs into Metazoo. So I know that it's still growing and it's still a viable game. Oh, the other part of the whole, like, not everybody is into Metazoo and stuff, and it's dying off. I think he mentioned something about Wilderness Tops. not being like popular or anything like that, and like the values of those boxes are dropping drastically. And yeah, they are. They are. But they're not playable cards, and that's about half the community is players. So naturally, those products aren't going to do as well. I think he's right about. I think he's right about a few things, especially when it comes to like some of the off-brand products, or not like the pin collections and the top stuff and the playing cards, Kickstarter stuff. Like a lot of those kind of, they're not built around the TCG. They're more for collector aspects. So I think there's going to be less interest in those as a whole as there is the main brand, like the actual meat and potatoes of Metazoo TCG, which is the game. So I think using those as tactics to scare people away is kind of wrong. But at the same time, I think he's right about what he's saying on there. Just difference of opinion, I guess. But all in all, at the end of the day, I really didn't want to take up a lot of time, and I know I am. But um, I don't believe Metazoo is going down. I don't think it's dying off. I don't think the community's going anywhere or anything like that. In fact, I think it's quite the opposite from everything that I've seen and what I've been experiencing myself, is that Metazoo is growing. And like I said at the beginning of the video, I'm not here to judge anybody. I'm not here to condemn anybody, anything like that. I just saw some things that, in my opinion and in my mind, were misleading, purposefully. And like I said, I think for him leaving the game in a way that he did, that was a smart tactic on his part. But I just want all of you guys, the actual Metazoo community, the players, the collectors, investors, everybody who cares about the game, take people's thoughts with a grain of salt, especially when they're being, I don't want to say being emotional, but when they're making emotional thoughts and decisions, especially if it's like really, really strongly against or for the game, you have to start looking at, what's going on here. There's ulterior motives most of the time when stuff like that happens. So, that's all I really want to say, and show you guys the market piece of it, to show you guys that it's truly not as bad as what some of these guys are saying out there. Keep collecting. Keep doing what you want to do. If you like Metazoo, don't let anybody tell you not to buy it or not to get into it, not to play the game. Do what you want to do. Collect what you like, invest what you want, play the games you like. It's as simple as that. Personally, I like Metazoo. I've been loving it, actually. I just liked it, but I've been loving it more and more, and I'm getting more and more involved into it, which is making me want to buy more and more products. So, and then I know I'm not alone out there. So, but that's basically all I wanted to say and show you guys. Thank you for all the love and support you guys have given me. Now it's about 3 a.m. in the morning, and I'm pretty tired, if you can't tell the bags in my eyes, so I'm gonna go to sleep now. But you guys have a great night and a great day when this goes up, and we'll see you guys in the next video.